Be me, 27, on the dating apps, get a match, cute goth girl, big titties, nice makeup, kind of artsy vibes. Bio says she's a bartender, into horror movies, and likes strong opinions. Definitely has some trauma, but who doesn't these days? We start chatting. She's fun, flirty, sends voice notes instead of texting walls of emojis. Talks a lot, but in a way that makes conversation easy. Kind of refreshing not having to do all the heavy lifting. We decide to meet up for drinks, maybe bar hop after if things go well. Backup plan, if she's insufferable, I can dip between bars, show up to the first bar, she's definitely hot. Fishnets, short skirt, black nails, the whole package. Smell of vanilla and cigarettes. As expected. We grab a drink and start talking. Conversation flows easily. She's smart, opinionated, but can back up what she says. Kind of fiery, but in a fun way. Oh, so what do you do for work? Already know she's a bartender from her profile, but ask anyway. Oh, I bartend, but I also do OF on the side. Didn't expect that, not sure how to react. Face must have betrayed me because she immediately picks up on it. What? You got a problem with that? Try to play it cool. Just say, oh, I just wasn't expecting that. Why? Because you're one of those guys who thinks women shouldn't be allowed to make money off their bodies? Here we go. She's getting defensive out of nowhere. Barely gave a reaction. I try to say, nah, do whatever you want. But she's already off to the races. It's empowering. Men have profited off women's bodies for centuries. Why shouldn't we make money for ourselves? I'm proud of how I look. I work hard for my body. Why shouldn't I monetize it? I just nod, sip my drink, let her talk. Then she shifts gears. Goes from defending herself to attacking me. You look like one of those guys who plays video games all day. Probably some nerd who never gets laid. You think a girl like me would ever be with a guy like you? Be real. At this point, I'm just staring at her like WTF. Realize she's not arguing with me. She's arguing with every guy who's ever judged her before. I haven't even said anything and she's spiraling. I was literally just using you for free drinks anyway. Internally laughing because the bill was like $12 so far. Decide to poke the bear. So how much do you actually make from it? Her expression shifts, suddenly looks a little uncomfortable. That's none of your business. Oh, guess it's not that much then. She glares at me, grabs her drink. Oops, dumps it all over my lap, gets up and storms out. Sit there for a second, processing. Bartender walks over, gives me a napkin. Fast forward 3 months. Talking to my buddy, telling him the story. Mention her name, show him her Instagram. He freezes. Dude, I know her. Turns out she used to date one of his other friends. Their relationship ended because she wanted to start an OF. He wasn't cool with it. Did it anyway, broke up over it. Apparently she thought she was going to be rolling in cash, but reality hit and she didn't make as much as expected. Made a good amount at the start, but it died off. Explains why she was so defensive about it. Dodged a massive bullet. Never been so grateful for my terrible poker face.